Hi, Corey Feldman. I've been around for a minute. You might have heard of me. I think I'm Corey Feldman. You know, is this reality or is this my own made-up reality? Corey talked about sex more than anyone I have ever known.
I will claim I am a sex addict. I take full responsibility.
How do I get out of here quicker, Larry?
I have to admit it.
I was talking about a man having a sexual addiction, and I was explaining the symptoms.
Now, see, I missed out on this conversation. I would really like to dig that one back open.
All I said was that there was a time in my life a few years ago where I, slated them in. Literally, just like he said.
You said 4 times.
1 in the morning, I would have come wake me up, and we'd go to breakfast, and then she'd leave, and I'd have another one scheduled to come over for lunch, and we'd go out and have lunch and do whatever, and then, on to the next one around evening time.
He once did an episode of Celebrity Wives Swap, where he and another celebrity swapped wives. So, exactly what it sounds like.
I had to go do a crappy reality show where they made me look terrible with my wife.
He did Wife Swap with Tommy Davidson. Go on YouTube, look up the episode, and you'll see.
It was humiliating. It was embarrassing. But I did it because we needed the money for the greater good, which was to get this mission accomplished.
Greater good. I wasn't prepared for the things I saw in the way he treats his angels, which are like his proteges, I guess.
It's quite funny how he does the Corey Feldman and the angels. That's quite an antiquated approach to building an ensemble around you that consists only of beautiful women who are dressed up as angels. It shouldn't be allowed. It just shouldn't be allowed.
We were around many nice people, but many people who fell prey to self-indulgence.
Right.
And you didn't.
When I first launched the company, Corey's Angels as an entity, we did it very much like under the radar because I didn't really want people to know what it was.
Yeah. I just gotten out of my marriage with the mother of my child.
Yeah.
I'd been with her for 8 years. I had 4 years single. And during those 4 years, I decided I didn't want one girlfriend. I didn't want my kid getting attached to anybody. And I didn't introduce him to girls.
I got more beautiful women that throw themselves at me. I started an entire company as a result of it.
Talk about Corey's Angels.
Well, Corey's Angels came as a result of me looking around going, I've got this literal myriad, plethora of gorgeous women that follow me around like the Pied Piper. All these kind of, we'll call them the dark side of the underbelly of the media, came along and tried to, paint this other picture like it was a whole other thing and saying that, this was my new career, was throwing parties and how pathetic and all this kind of stuff. And it was like, you guys don't even know.
When it started with me and my girlfriends. So, of course, it was easy for people to blur the lines and go, oh, look, he was doing this for shady reasons. No, I wasn't. I was helping those girls.
I have helped a lot of women with their careers in Hollywood. And then I would realize they went off to be successful, and what did I get out of it? Not much. That's why I developed my company, Corey's Angels.
I was running this kind of modeling agency to try and help girls get a career outside of modeling. So we started this whole thing of like helping them mold their careers and getting them a position so that they didn't have to do some of the lesser things that girls have been known to have to do in Hollywood, right? So it was like, okay, well, let's try and...
So you were helping them.
Right, trying.
Yeah.
So there's 3 of you guys here, and Courtney is his main girlfriend or his only girlfriend?
Okay, well, we're all girlfriends. You like girl and friend. Courtney is his girlfriend, real girlfriend. That's his main goal.
Everybody's happy with that?
Oh,
Everybody's
yeah.
good?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
No, you're not.
If you're a young girl, you're 19, you just moved to LA from Kansas, and somebody who has some amount of fame starts kind of working on you in that way, I can see why they might participate in something that they wouldn't normally.
He finds, the girls somehow, or they find him. They're young, they're impressionable, they don't have any money. He offers them a place to live.
Sometimes we move them into our home, and when we move them into our home, then they get to have 24-hour hardcore lessons, I guess is the best way to put it.
You just have to live by his rules. And they get a little piece of paper, That are his rules.
Here's stories about what the regime is that they're expected to sort of live under in order to be part of this musical odyssey.
Angels must be open to change and willing to learn.
He's worse than R. Kelly. He literally has contracts in his house for his angels. And if they sign it, they've got to have sex with him and his wife.
You have to wear the angel outfit or wear lingerie or be ready to, jump in the bedroom with him and whomever. And
when we pick an angel, the girl has got to be beautiful inside and out,
Right.
and she's got to be talented.
Counted. Yeah, I can give a BJ at the same time I'm giving a hand job to another guy.
I have a special talent.
What's your talent? I can count and give a BJ at the same time.
They have to be in great shape.
He's putting him on this diet under the guise of, this is going to help you get more jobs.
And maybe get in their head of, hey, if you become one of our girlfriends, then you're going to be famous and everything like that.
Notoriety, you're going to go on this show or on this TV thing or this tour or whatever.
If a girl's a Corey's angel, you can be pretty sure that millions of people are going to know your name within a very short amount of time.
I wanted to go over some things that are very important with being an angel. One of those things, of course, is diet.
One of those things, of course, is diet, staying skinny, looking exactly how I want you to look, eating what I want you to eat, saying what I want you to say, and wearing what I want you to wear. Clear?
The body that you never even thought possible after having kids.
No man should be telling any woman how they should feel about their body.
Many people ran to his defense. One of the common comments I was hearing was, he's been through so much. Many people have had similar childhoods, if you catch my drift. And it doesn't necessarily provide you with an excuse to take advantage of women in this way, which is what it kind of seems like he's doing.
Corey, I know it's hard being a guy. It's hard for women to come out saying they've been sexually abused. But you're doing the same shit to women that your mother that you divorced, emancipated yourself from, did to you.
If I have the ability to enjoy life like that, then I want to share it with others.
There used to be these urban myths about Corey Feldman sex parties.
No, not sex parties, love parties.
Love parties.
That's
My bad.
right. Charlie Sheen throws sex parties. I throw love parties.
What's the difference? Like, what would your love parties be like?
It's very, you know what? I throw these parties. Honestly, I throw parties that are called Corey's Angels parties, okay?
There's something called Feld Mansion.
The Feld Mansion. Hold on.
It's like the Playboy Mansion.
It's like chicks come and live with him, and they party, and then they charge money to dudes to party with them, but they're not hookers. But if you hook up, I mean, that's cool, but it's
an escort service.
No, not according to Corey.
No sex involved.
Right, wait.
What happened was I kind of, started throwing these parties, which were very closely at the time connected to the Playboy parties, because I spent a lot of time going to Playboy Mansion and was very good friends with Hef. And I saw the way that he did things, and it was always very classy and very safe and good for the girls because they got the exposure.
It's a private membership club, a 360 management, development, and production entity. We're going to create these events where basically we give people the opportunity to mingle with these angels. So
That's what I'm interested in, mingling.
So the private membership is how he brings in money?
That is one of
And he gets, I guess, a portion of the girls' salaries when they get hired.
He is their agent. Or manager, or whatever.
Hopefully these are like distinguished businessmen, men that offer opportunities or bring something to the table, because the whole idea is networking, right? At the end of the day, we throw intimate events where people can come. They pay a very high premium because we never let in more than 100 guys.
Yeah. And it's $250 to get into the party. If you would like to hook up with a girl and you want to rent one of the bedrooms, $200. Forget whatever you're going to do with her. That's their business.
Right.
But they would charge you $200 to use the bedroom. Oh, you want to use the cabana out front? The cabana is $250, but you do get a bottle of champagne that comes with that.
Wow.
And we do sell cabanas and bottle service, and you can have your own private host angel. Nothing explicit or illicit or sexual.
There's no sex? Because that sounds like a great orgy.
I didn't say that now either.
Okay.
What I do in my private time is my private time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying.
That's my man, Corey Feldman, the stud.
Were there orgies at Feld Mansion?
Yeah, definitely.
Miss Jezebel sweet. He didn't try to sleep with you at all?
Oh, he definitely tried.
Like, how did he hit on you?
Like give you a bunch of drugs and trap you in a hotel room with one bed without telling you.
There's no sex with the angels?
I didn't say that.
Okay,
I mean,
right.
if I happen to be dating them, then I happen to be dating them. But it's not a requirement.
That's creepy.
Some people will call it a sex thing.
I know they will. I've seen that. It's very apparent. It's the top of the line, most beautiful girls inside and out, wearing lingerie, feeling comfortable because they can run around naked if they want to. That's up to them.
You see the girls running around in their angel outfits or in robes or whatever because it's like about being free.
Yeah, guys, it's about being free, okay? It has nothing to do with the fact that I want to see half-naked women parading around in lingerie all day. It's not about me. It's about freedom.
It's about being open and free and beautiful. It's not about sex. It's not about nothing dirty. It's not about demoralizing women.
Have you noticed what you're wearing today?
Do you like my outfit?
I do, except it would be better on the floor.
It's about applauding and appreciating and respecting the beauty of women.
Damn, I like that, man.
Yeah.
Cut to the footage of him sitting there watching them work out in skimpy clothes while probably rubbing his belly button. It's pretty obvious that he wants them on a diet and exercise regime for personal reasons also.
Exercise. I like watching you guys hop.
What a creep, man.
Nudity is beauty.
Wait, how
My
many
ex-wife,
people of the
Courtney,
angels were you dating?
Well, at that time, I was dating a lot of girls, and those girls became the first angels. That's how it started.
Okay, well, that's going to be misty
It's
for
not,
some of these
but yeah,
people.
but it doesn't matter because the truth is the truth.
When some of these took place, this is back when he was still married to his ex-wife, not the first wife, but the second wife, and they had a kid. And that kid is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, living right down the hallway.
Wow.
Sleeping right down the hallway.
There were definitely parties that happened while his son was in the house. I could definitely tell that they took some care to try to separate him from that world, such as like his girlfriend would sleep in a separate bedroom when his kid was there. So it was sort of meant to be a secret, but they definitely were doing a lot of drugs in the house and having these like group sex parties while the child was in the house.
One of the things that I really loved about my friendship with Feldman was seeing him with his son, seeing him with Zen. He was very protective of Zen. He didn't want him to see anything or hear anything or experience anything that was negative.
You're having sex parties in your house, and the kid is down the hallway. And if he's got to go to the bathroom, he's got to come out of his room or whatever. What could he see? You know, I'm not saying he could be a part of anything, but what are you possibly putting him into?
When he was at home, there was no girls around. It was quiet, clean, normal household. When he was gone and he went to stay with his mom, then I'd have girls fly in or hang out with me from different places. And so, yeah, and it was a very open environment. And yes, I had 2 or 3 girlfriends there at a time, and it was that kind of stuff, and that's how it was. And they would joke with me and be like, we're like Corey's Angels, and that's how it all started. It all started with a little joke.
So is there no drugs involved?
No, man.
No ecstasy or Molly or nothing like that?
Well, you can bring what you want to the table, bro. I'm just telling you.
All right.
I'm just telling you what I do.
What you do.
There was a lot of fighting going on a lot of the time, a lot of drug use, a lot of group sex parties.
All I can say is I have a lot of sympathy for any woman or any man or any child who's had to sacrifice their will or sacrifice their body because somebody else didn't respect them. There's actually people out there that are working on a 24-hour basis to discredit and defame me and change the facts of life. This group of people has been taunting and terrorizing us on a daily basis. They call themselves the Wolfpack, and they're out there making these scandalous, sensational, lying videos about me, about my wife, and about the whole situation.
Wolfpack. The Wolfpack is doing things on social media like Twitter messages, Facebook messages that are threatening you, disparaging you, defaming you, accusing you of bad things.
And going after my fans and attacking them. We get blackmail threats. We get threats that they're going to make up lies and go to the Time's Up lawyers. We get threats that they're going to take me to the labor board for money that's not owed to them. It's a continuous ball of perpetuated lies that they just keep making up to try and paint some picture that I'm this terrible person.
The Wolfpack thing comes from this guy named Bobby Wolf, who was kind of investigating him and doing interviews with different people that had like left the band and worked for him.
Bobby Wolf.
You've never met him or
Never met him, never spoken to him. It's somebody that started working with Judy. Messages from Michael Lundgren, or you start receiving messages from Stacey Thomas, or you start receiving messages from Kim Stern, or Susie Q, or any of these other suspicious types. Know that they're all from this cult called the Wolfpack, and they all work with convicted pedophiles like Marty White. There's an entire conspiracy that's been formed of at least 30 people who are working in conjunction with one another. I believe all under the guidance of her.
You're saying is Judy's part of the Wolfpack?
I think Judy is the queen of the Wolfpack. A woman who I expected to be on my side and support me turned against me, went on national television and made up bold-faced lies, telling everybody that I was a con man, that I was doing all of this as a ploy to make money, and that I was literally just making stories up, and that I was never molested, and that my best friend was never molested, and he was never raped. And it was all a con to get money out of you.
Wow. Who does it think I am? Honestly, the person that should be taking my side. Why am I supposed to take your side?
Why he hates Judy? It's simple. She said no to him. If you say no to him, you're hatred. You're the enemy.
I told him to do me a favor and not talk about my son. So now he's finding things about me. Then he found something to say about my Corey. Now we're going to find out real quick who the haters are, because, no matter what I say, those ones that are for Feldman, these people are relentless. I don't know any of them, but they have an awful lot to say about me. He trolled me so badly, asking his fans to troll me on social. And he asked you, exactly. Yeah. So a lot of people sent me snapshots, so I printed all of those, and I took them to the police, and I sent them to the LAPD. At least I have a lot of proof that he's taunting me, harassing me, trolling me, and whatever he's doing, he's putting on others.
Your thoughts on Corey's mother?
I wish her nothing but the best.
It's a nice thing to say.
No, it's the truth. I mean that.
She said, "You guys know I don't ever say anything bad about anyone, but Judy Haim, brackets, no longer her last name, is a bad woman who vehemently protects evil. She has been creating distractions and diversions since her son's death to shun away the feelings of true guilt she must bear. Hashtag blasphemy." What was your reaction to that?
So I looked at it and I said, number one, who's protecting evil?
Right.
Is it me or is it him for all these years?
Judy, you know that you're lying. And if you don't know you're lying, then you're in the deepest form of denial that I've ever seen.
He cannot name any names without doing a project, without making money, and it's always about Corey. Now, my Corey is not here, so now he's attacking me.
To turn around and to try and discredit me, or say that I'm doing this for the wrong reasons, is disgusting.
Corey, what would you have done if you would have lost your son, God forbid, and somebody did this to you to ride his coattails for 9 years? What would you have done? How would you have handled it? That's what I want to know. He thinks I'm responsible for not allowing him to name pedophiles, and I'm responsible for being the head of a Wolfpack. There is no Wolfpack, schmuck.
Apparently, Judy Haim has this thing. She's like Al Capone. I want to call her. I call her now Judy Capone, because she has everybody mesmerized.
There is a wolf pack. It was admitted. We've got screenshots of it.
I'm not a member of a pack, the Wolf Pack.
You're a bunch of fat people behind a computer eating bonbons all day. Sorry, Feldman, I had to quote you on that, because it's true!
It's 4 or 5 people who talk to each other. You go on social media, and you bash the living shit out of him. And you know what? You have that right to say whatever you want. People don't have to agree with it.
Right.
That's irrelevant. If he doesn't like it, okay, fine.
Basically, they've come to town to ambush me, harass me, stalk me, and who knows, possibly harm me or my family.
Nobody has threatened him. I don't want anybody to threaten him. I don't want anybody to go to his home. I don't want anybody to go after his kid or his wife or his ex-wife. No, I don't want any violence at all to anybody in his family or himself. If you don't agree with him, you're a pedo protector and you're part of the Wolfpack.
We've all met victims, you know what I mean? And I've certainly played the part plenty in my life.
I'm sure I have too.
I'm a victim. I'm a victim. I'm a victim.
He's the lifelong victim, so people feel sorry for him. They're sympathetic to him. Give him work. Give him jobs. Donate to his GoFundMe.
There should be something someone can do to protect us or help us in this situation, because so far we don't know what to do. We don't have any protection. So I don't even know what to do.
We do have protection, we have security, but we need more security. And security is very costly. All this stuff costs a lot of money. So yes, we are keeping the GoFundMe campaign up there. If people want to donate out of the kindness of their hearts, believe me, it means the world to us. But we're not demanding money, we're not requesting money, we're not out there campaigning. I do want to say that we're going to add some new perks to the GoFundMe campaign that's up there, where you can have a chance to come see the premiere of my new movie. We're going to give away some tickets and maybe even some free trips or whatever.
We're just doing basically all we can to
survive. Whatever we can.
Keep ourselves alive. Can you blame us?
Please give me, I'm the victim, I'm the victim.
Unfortunately, there's dark powers in the world that don't want certain things exposed. And what do? They put down the victims. They insult the victims. They come after the victims. They try to accuse the victims of being drug addicts, of being bad people, lowlifes, vilify them in any way possible, make them crazy.
He plays the victim.
A big scare for actor Corey Feldman. He says someone stabbed him.
The 46-year-old tweeted, "I'm in the hospital. I was attacked tonight."
He found it very odd his attacker didn't ask for his wallet or keys.
Does it have anything to do with the pedophile claims?
It is 100% connected.
There is a very good chance that what happened was a random event and some gang members just tried to stab me for no reason. But there's also a very good chance that this was a coordinated attempt.
It could have gone either way.
This is unconfirmed by LAPD at this time, but Feldman says in a follow-up tweet that he's been receiving threats from an online group that he calls the Wolfpack, and he alleges, quote, "This, I'm sure, is a result of those negative actions."
I think it's something that he's staging himself. If you're in a hospital and you get stabbed, the first thing they're going to do is put an IV in you. There's no IV. He's wearing his ball cap. He's got a little smirk on his face, and he's holding his electric pen that he smokes.
There are still a lot of questions about what did and didn't happen at this intersection last night.
I locked the door. He pulls on the door, and he couldn't get in. It was locked, but then somehow when he pulls and lunges again, he opens it with ease.
I know that he's always driven Mercedes, BMW. He really likes whatever. Now, if anybody has a BMW out there, or any newer car, really, the second you put the car in drive, what happens?
The doors
lock. Now, if you come to a stop sign, your car doesn't open up unless you put it in park. I don't care who yanks on the handle; it's not opening up at a light.
The door just opened. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if he had like some kind of magnetic device or what. But he got the door open, lunged in one time, stabbed me like that, and pulled back out, and that was it.
And did you see what you say he stabbed you with?
I couldn't see it because it was dark. It was nighttime.
There's been a lie that has been strewn about, saying that I was never, I was attacked, but there was no flesh wound, and that I was not penetrated, and that there's no, laceration. These are all lies.
Corey is not lying when he says he did get stabbed with a needle.
They tried to cover it up and say there was nothing there.
Yeah.
That was a funny one.
Now, the former child star says it was a knife attack, but investigators say he had no cuts.
The LAPD, for whatever reason, will not give us the video footage to prove that I was actually attacked. The LAPD said there was no laceration, even though they took pictures and measured it. I have video footage of them photographing the wound and sizing the scar and the laceration, right? They're literally like sizing it and taking pictures of it in the hospital room. They turned around and said there was no puncture wound. The medical report says laceration of the abdomen. That's what the medical report says.
As you can see, we went to Kaiser Permanente.
Here's the date that we were there. On top of it, I want to take you down to here where it says today's visit. The reason for the visit was a stab wound. The diagnosis, puncture wound of abdominal wall. It was a very tiny, small hole. Obviously, it's a small mark. We're not questioning that. It was very tiny. It was like right here.
Can you show me?
Well, it's faded now. You won't really see much.
He was kind of made out to be lying about it because there was no wound.
He goes to the hospital and there's not a mark on him.
But he got lucky. He pulled out of the way.
I don't know if God saved me that day or if they didn't intend to slice through me. That I'll never know. But what I do know is that the way my body moved when they lunged in at me, I went like this, and there's a slice through my jacket that's that big. So they didn't get very far. They just got like the very tip of the knife into me. So I thought it was like maybe a needle.
He was punctured with an infected needle. I know the needle was infected. I know who the needle was from. Do the math, Corey. You can do it. I don't have to speak names.
So they gave me some medicine to prevent the HIV from ever starting. But it would make me sick for a month, so I chose not to take that medicine.
Like, looking back, we should have filed a police report. We should have, tried to obtain security footage. Why didn't we do that? What was wrong with us? But we were in so much shock. We were terrified. We were scared. That's when we were like, okay, this has got to be a result of, what's been going on.
We also have a witness who notified us that they had tried to reach out to the police, but they never got an interview.
We visited area businesses and couldn't find anyone who heard or saw any commotion.
There may be some video surveillance footage of the event as it took place. So there's that.
People at one business looked through security camera video but couldn't find the right time of the alleged attack. Last year, he started a GoFundMe page to raise money to increase his security. That page resurfaced again today.
It's not just my family they're terrorizing. They're also terrorizing my fans, my supporters, people like yourselves, and you know who you are, because you've had to open the door and have a surprise of somebody showing up at your doorstep. And I've gotten reports that people have been sent to the hospital also.
I almost got killed because of Haim's mom and her fucking death threat warnings. Telling me to tell Feldman that she's got bullets with our names on it. How shocking. And then I get assaulted. And I still got a mark that goes from my temple all the way down my face. Can't see it because it's got makeup on it. I can't look at it. I still got a crack in my skull over here from the assault, Feldman. I got fucking doctor's bills up the ass, Feldman, with your name all over it. Said you testify in court, you blew me off. You blow everybody off.
A year later, something else happened, and Corey was, at a stoplight, and basically, had, car pull up to him, full of, what appeared to be, Mexican gangsters, came out of the car, tried to distract the security. The security got out of the car, and the car had a guy come out of the car.
I was hiding in a scary, dark, cold, lonely hotel room in the middle of Texas after having an attack and an attempt on my life. I had a near-death experience last night where I felt like I was almost going to be killed. 2 trucks came speeding at me at the same time on a crosswalk.
He said, I was walking across the street and I almost got hit. They were after me. Was he on his phone? Was he talking to somebody? Did he look both ways? And just, isn't it wild that at this particular corner that had a light, there's no video surveillance of any kind from anywhere? Nothing. Doesn't exist.
We were trying to get some dinner and we're all sitting around the lobby and we'd been waiting for an hour in this lobby and we're in the middle of nowhere. And finally, my wife got frustrated and she's like, I'm going to get food. And she kind of just storms off.
We were
and then
waiting for
everybody,
an Uber for an hour.
Yeah, waiting for an Uber.
Uber
Uber wouldn't come.
Crazy.
Waiting for a taxi wouldn't come. So that means people knew we were there. They knew exactly where we were because we were sitting in the lobby for an hour. So everybody had a read on our location. And for some reason, ironically, no taxi and no Uber would come, which I found very, very odd. Okay, so that forced us to walk out into the street. And as we were crossing that street, 2 giant monster trucks with giant bars of lights on top of the trucks are coming side by side, parallel with each other as we're walking across the street. And When we left the sidewalk, they were still way far away. But we have 8 of us in a group and we're all walking across. And as we get to the point where we're at the median, I look over and I'm like, we've still got room, we're still good. My wife and her girlfriends, or the other girls in the band, I should say, got to the other side of the sidewalk safely. By the time they turned around, we were stuck between the 2 last lanes. Me and my security turn on a dime and look at these trucks coming directly at us. And at that moment, they definitely saw us. Instead of like them slamming on their brakes, they both accelerated at the same time. Both of them. So literally, I was caught between 2 trucks speeding at me at like 80 miles an hour. I felt something touch me and move my body in a way that is not human, because I was able to like go like the Matrix, like literally got me out of harm's way. But,
yeah, who's the they, Corey? When you said they knew we were sitting there for an hour.
well, meaning the people at the hotel or whoever they might have been talking to. So meaning like people knew where we were. So it would have been very easy for somebody to call somebody else and go, hey, I've got Corey Feldman and his crew sitting right here. What do you want us to do about it? You know what I'm saying? Right. So you can put the pieces together and it would have been easy to do.
So again, we have a story, we have TMZ publicity, but we have nothing in the middle. We have no, this is what happened.
We just wanted to tell the truth, and we just wanted a bad monster to be exposed. And instead, other monsters have come in and made our lives hell.
Unfortunately, knowing this person, as long as I know him, he's just basically not a good person.
Yeah.
That's not him. A user, an abuser, will fleece people out of money, the GoFundMes, the this, the that, give me.
We're launching a brand new service, which is going to be a direct to the fans service for the Feld fam, for the exclusive fans only. It's very cheap. It costs basically nothing to do this. For a subscription of I think $5 to $10 a month, you literally sign up and then you can watch exclusive content from me. We can have exclusive conversations, private conversations, the same way that we do now on Twitter and Facebook. But eventually, I'm going to close all of those down, and the only way we're going to be communicating is through this channel. And this is the way to block out all the trolls. I know the first thing they're going to say is, oh, of course he would do this. It's another way to make money, blah, blah, blah. No, this is a way to shut you up and to keep you shut up.
He does what he wants and changes the narrative as he goes along.
We did an NFT of my burn ear from Stand By Me. We did like a whole hybrid auction thing, and then, well, lo and behold, that got hacked, and unfortunately they froze the bid button for 12 hours, making it impossible for the number to go up, and we got stuck with a $3,700 sale.
There are so many people out there that are lecherous, that are trying to make up lies that we've already seen out in the open from the first round of false allegations that were made about me, which I will remind everybody were investigated by the Los Angeles Police Department 2.5 years ago based on allegations made by Jackie Von Ruden, who goes by the name of Jezebel Sweet, which, if you look at her Facebook page, is called Singing for Satan. She has a band called Singing for Satan. She's a self-proclaimed Satanist. She posed as an angel to come into my band, Corey and the Angels, and she tricked us both by giving us a fake Facebook profile and putting herself out there. Once we took her in, we learned her true identity and that she, in fact, was not a sweet little singer from the South, but she was more actually a stripper girl who was taking advantage of us and spying on us.
Around the house or on tour, there was times that he would like grab at me, like grab my ass or different things, or he told me that I wasn't allowed to wear bras around the house and stupid shit like that. Seems like he kind of was seeking to isolate me in a sense from other people. I kind of touched on it earlier, how he would, like, I overheard him basically referring to me as his girlfriend. So there was a few people that came out of the woodwork after I left that had told me that he was telling people that I was his girlfriend and that I belonged to him, and that basically they needed to stay away from me because I was his property, essentially.
Corey's not the type of guy that's going to like grab someone and rape them. That's not how he's going to do it. But maybe he'll pass you some prescription meds and maybe he'll give you some,
There were 2 different sexual assaults that I witnessed while I lived with Corey. And I would say that I was also sexually harassed by him quite a lot as well. I guess there had been some kind of communication earlier in the day between him and one of the women that he's involved with that she was going to try anal sex with him, which she had never done before, so it was supposed to be something special for that night. And when it came down to it, when he, asked her to do this for him, she changed her mind, and she was freaked out about the whole thing. She was scared. She was like, no. She very clearly said no, that she didn't want to do that. And he started screaming at her, and the other girl that was there started screaming at her that she just needed to shut up and just do it. It was really, really messed up. She was crying, and he just didn't care. He just pushed her down, and he just forced himself on her. He publicly stated that he used the campaign money to evade the sexual battery charges.
I'm pretty upset right now because last night both the girls came to me and they told me that there was a conversation that was had behind my back about you thinking that the girls should be getting into some kind of college or that they should be doing something else with their lives. And is that true?
Well, I think it's great to encourage these women to seek any other type of education if they choose to.
Okay,
and to encourage
Amanda,
them.
but what you're doing is you're encouraging them while they're in my program.
Imagine that. What if they wanted to make something of themselves, learn a trade, go to school, do anything else other than be your slave?
That's why I take huge offense. Because right now they're in a college, and the college is called Corey's Angels.
And that's your path for them, but I want them to feel like they have a voice and it really should be their choice.
Wait, they're here. That's their choice.
But I want them to feel...
They did everything in their life to get to this point. Nobody's gonna come in and try and reprogram.
Reprogram? That is so creepy. Ladies, gentlemen, if you're ever in a situation where someone is blatantly admitted that they are trying to program you a certain way, that might be a red flag.
And the next thing you know, there's
You're the head of a sex cult.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was just kind of a strange, weird control thing going on with all of that.
But is it the responsibility of the angels that are in training to then bring other angels? Is this
absolutely?
So
Absolutely.
It's
We're always scouting.
Right.
We're always scouting because at the end of the day, it's a very hard thing. I mean, we've gone.
You must think women are morons.
Feldman, you make R. Kelly, and this is really sad, you make that SOB look like a fucking saint.
This is the guy who wants to be the good guy. This is the person that Child USA has as their guy, is that guy. So when people listen to him, understand who you're listening to.
We have a children's book coming out. We have an entire merchandise line coming.
Wow.
A children's book?
I can't believe the activity going on in the Cory Feldman
Now that's
empire.
where you throw me. Do the angels write children's books too?
I think they attach their names to them, yeah.
Yes, Feldman, you shouldn't have treated the girls the way you did, okay? You shouldn't have.
Feldman's spectacularly embarrassing appearance on Wives Swap, where he swapped wives, homes, and family with Tommy Davidson, illustrated what should have been painfully apparent to me all along. Despite what Feldman might insist, Corey's Angels were less an opportunity for Feldman to give a step up to ambitious young musicians than a cult with Feldman as the creepy overlord. In the years that followed, a number of Corey's Angels went forward with stories of being exploited, harassed, and emotionally abused by Feldman.
I was actually tied to this girl named Mindy who is running to be a politician who claimed that she knew all this stuff about me. Like, I'd never even spent more than maybe 2 nights with her and nothing happened. And basically she was there as a date. We went on a date, but she was going to maybe be part of my angel thing. And then I just decided against it. She just didn't, have the right vibe and I wasn't into it. And that never went forward. When I turned it into a business and I started the band, things changed because then it became a business.
Yeah.
And once it's a business, you can't bring in outsiders and sleep with them. That doesn't work. We all know that, right? So that's where it stopped.
People are starting to talk. The girls are starting to come forward and say what's been going on, what's been happening, what did happen, you know, drugs and other things that went down and non-payment and all kinds of crazy shenanigans. Stuff you just don't do.
My lead angel is on the tour is the musical director, and she does it all, right? One woman show right there. Her name is Margot Lane.
I got hired to be his music director after he was looking for female musicians for his band. I only agreed to do the gig if I was his music director because I saw it as a career kind of opportunity to pursue more of the directing aspect of being in a touring band, and that's kind of the route I wanted to be in. I didn't know up front, I guess, that all the rehearsals were going to be in his home.
The Heavenly Tour was definitely the exact opposite of that. It was the Hellish Tour. Corey's Hell Tour is really what it should have been called.
You know, the thing is, on tours, it is rough and it is difficult if you've never been on tour, but I've been on tour before, and there was never a problem until this tour, and you're dealing with animal feces everywhere and food regiments. And, you know, I never had my food rationed to me, but I was told what I should be eating and what I shouldn't be eating, and that I should lose weight.
I was the tour bus driver on tour with Corey and his Angels. I've toured with the best of the best and the worst of the worst. I've toured with Manson. I've toured with Coercion and Conformity. I drove the bus. I know what the fuck happened on that bus, and I know what them girls went through.
There's a lot of people over the course of many years that have worked for him that have been in the shadows and haven't had a voice to really speak up and talk about these things because they're frightened of an NDA that he put upon them so that they couldn't speak.
When we found out what was going on with the other two infiltrators, Margot and Powena, that's when we fired Margot. And that's when Jackie and Powena, who we learned were actually seeing one another and were a couple, and they were all working together this whole time, along with the bus driver, and this like whole complicated thing.
Chris Kiddo, ladies and gentlemen.
I was going to make this little documentary, and when I say little documentary, I mean like a 15-minute little story about the experience. Not everything's puppies and rainbows that you would think. And so now that I was getting ready to tell my story and finally get around to making it, this is when Margot posted her video and Jackie posted her video. I'm like, holy shit, like, I'm not the only one like who saw this shit going on. And like, I have video footage of you girls breaking down your sets all by yourselves and stuff. It's crazy.
Some of these people I've never met before, but you know, that we've been able to talk about the stories, and all the stories match up, all the things that we've seen, all the drugging that we've seen, the money issues, the promising of payment, and that missing too. That seems to be a constant issue.
He doesn't pay them. Girls have had to sue him for their money. You know, he's kept them, you know, on plenty of drugs and plenty of things.
Yeah.
These are not my words. These are their words. Just Google the stories. They're all there.
The payment thing I know was an issue because we were a month into this tour and none of them had got paid. Nobody on the bus had got paid. And Mr. Feldman was always saying, well, I haven't even got paid. And his response to that was, well, it's got to go through the channels. It's got to pay the bus. It's got to, you know, the money's got to go for here and there, and then you guys will get paid. 3 of them was threatening to quit the tour because of non-payment. And then all of a sudden, you know, they got paid for the first 2 weeks. Then I heard that they had not even got paid for a Vegas show they did before they went on this tour. The beginning of the tour, there was no trailer because he didn't want to pay for the trailer. The other girls from the band would unload and load their own stuff, which is just unheard of in the music business. Why was this? Because he sent them home, and he sent the helpers home to save the money.
This is going to just prove more and more of just how much of an asshole Corey really is. He called me and just starts like screaming at me, going like, this is going to be a disaster. I need you to make this tonight by 7 o'clock and send it to me. And I'm like, whoa, dude, I'm doing this shit for free. This is what I do professionally, man. And like, this is insane. And then, but somehow, once you get sucked into doing something for him a little bit, he has this weird way of like taking advantage of you and making you feel obligated somehow to keep doing it. And it's so bizarre. And like, that's what I want to get to the bottom of. He sold my design that I did for him for free and makes a t-shirt out of it and starts profiting. He doesn't even tell me, doesn't even ask for permission, and starts selling it as merchandise and pocketing cash from it. I'm like, this guy takes advantage of people like so much. It's just like unreal. I will say this though, he finally did give me an interview, but it was the most bizarre thing ever. I'm going to share that, how like bizarre it is. And I want to kind of question, like, you know, could this man be on something? Like, who has that much energy at 3:30 in the morning? I know for a fact he owes the girls money, what I think breaches his contract. We're going to come out and like share our side of the story. We're going to tell the world the other side of Corey, and like, it's not what you think. Trust me, Corey is manipulating a lot of people and they're falling for it, and it just blows my mind how they're giving him money like that. So I want to keep stuff just kind of quiet until I make it, because I don't want to risk Corey or Phil trying to scare me and shut it down.
When I fired them because of the mayhem and disarray, they turned around and made false allegations about me,
saying we didn't feed them and we didn't pay them and they didn't shower and just stupid stuff,
which were investigated by LAPD, and I was cleared of those false allegations.
He should be put on trial for everything that happened to me and the other women that were on that tour.
I overheard other band members saying certain things. One in particular, I'm not going to name which one it was, but one of the other female band members had let me know that that she felt pressured to sleep with Corey. And I don't know what all he said to her or whatever, but she definitely let me know that she felt uncomfortable, that she was being pressured. And she was significantly younger than me at the time. I think she was 20, maybe 22 or 23. As far as my experience with that with Corey actually let me know pretty early on that he doesn't find Black women attractive. He said that straight out, that he's not attracted to women, period. And honestly, I was thrilled. I was like, wonderful. Because I wouldn't want to touch you with a 10-foot pole.
If any lawyers see this that are fighting for the girls, I'd be happy to tell them what I witnessed at your birthday party. Those girls looked so scared. I knew something was up. I wasn't sure what, but I knew something was up.
What do you think prompted the girls to stick around, Margot and the others? What prompted them to stay with this particular treatment?
I think the other ones, it was a fear of him saying, "You'll never work in this town again. I know so many people, you'll be blackballed."
Crystal, it's Corey. I'm wanting to believe that this is a joke. You got to be joking, right? This isn't real. Like, no human being on this earth would be selfish enough and egotistical enough and fucked up in the head enough to fuck friends over like this at the last minute. Like, you know that I spent real money, and you know that I'm struggling, and you know how hard it has been to get to this point. And like, no person would do this to another group of people that they call friends unless you're like a soulless, careless, like inhumane fucking piece of shit. So I really hope, for all fucking practical purposes, that this is a fucking elaborate joke, and that you're gonna call and say that this was all a joke, or you were just playing, or something. Because if I don't fucking hear from you, girl, your name is fucking mud. Let me tell you, don't even bother coming back to LA, because you'll never get another gig in that fucking town. Ever. Like, I will fucking make sure everybody knows what a piece of shit you are. Okay? Cool. Peace.
These girls have been put through enough. Just the verbal abuse that he gives these girls is just totally amazing. He has to be in control of the whole situation. Until you're around somebody 24/7 for nearly 3 freaking months and live with these people, you find out there is a very dark, sinister side to this guy.
He personally asked me to watch you and the Angels and report back to him with information, along with many others, many others. he was trying to find anything related to Satanism and to Marilyn Manson for some reason.
You don't like Marilyn Manson?
No, I've got a problem with Marilyn Manson.
Why?
Why?
Yeah. Marilyn's a great guy.
No, he's wonderful. He's lovely.
Whoa. What's, come on, come clean.
Nothing. I don't like the fact that he's utilized my name for so many months now. Well, he talked about, I
didn't read the book.
How we met at the premiere, your premiere, actually, right?
Yes.
And he came on the show and he said only nice things about me in the beginning.
Right.
But then went on to say, how I dressed and this and that. And a lot of it was cheap shots. And I thought it was kind of cute, whatever. I let it go.
You're a good sport about stuff like that.
Him and I do this little karaoke thing at his house for fun.
Right.
There he is singing the Bee Gees, and I'm laughing because I'm going, here's Marilyn Manson singing Grease.
It's funny.
It's funny stuff.
Right.
So he starts like going around and telling everybody about this in like a very public way. But the way he does it, he throws this slant on it to where he says, oh yeah, I was basically punishing Corey Feldman by, embarrassing him and making him look stupid.
Oh, by singing the Bee Gees to him.
Exactly. No, by me singing the Bee. He just left himself out of the element.
Oh, I see.
He says,
so you were his puppet putting on a little show for him.
Exactly. He says, oh yeah, I've got Leif Garrett and I've got Corey Feldman, two pop stars from the 80s, former fallen teen heroes. And, this is pop art to me, is embarrassing people and making them feel stupid. And
when Corey was over at our old house, and I was actually singing karaoke with Corey on one side and Leif Garrett on the other, and I had a moment, seriously, of wondering what the hell had happened to my life. So I did look from side to side, going.
See, now you say that, but I have a question. I have a question for you. When you say what the hell had happened to my life,
I only mean in the sense that I'm in this bizarre world in Hollywood, and all of a sudden.
Okay, so it wasn't meant as an insult.
No, I'm like it would.
Because I was about to go off on you. No, he never told me what was going to be in the book. He was very nice, and I thought, you know what? Maybe it's all an act. Maybe he's not such a weirdo. Maybe he's a nice guy. So we, became friendly with each other.
You can be weird and nice.
Yeah, exactly, like Micheal Jackson. So,
listen, you're the one who's laid in bed with him. I don't know.
Let's not get nasty, Rose.
I'm just saying.
You're in a league you can't even swing with. So believe me.
But
Rose,
he said that putting us together and doing karaoke was pop art to him.
It is pop art. It's funny.
And it was as offensive as pissing in a deaf girl's ear.
That's a compliment.
Somebody asked me, am I going to fight Marilyn Manson? You think that would be a fight? He's too much of a pussy to stand in my face.
You have to get in shape first.
Yeah, he's a big fat belly drinking bald and ugly man. He's a pussy.
This is the most fascinating story of how deep Marilyn Manson's obsession goes with me.
Corey Feldman says that Marilyn Manson has been obsessed with him for years and has been fixated on sabotaging him.
They literally had people pretending to be band members who were actually there to sabotage me. A couple of the musicians were not actual musicians. They were spies that were put into my life to cause mayhem and destruction.
They were purposely singing off key, purposely playing wrong parts, doing stuff like that so that we would get negative attention, negative reviews. The bus broke down 10 times. It happened to be Marilyn Manson's bus. And when I say happened to, I use that term lightly.
The way we ended up on that bus is because they made the best offer out of all the different buses we were looking at.
It happened to be also Marilyn Manson's bus driver. And it also happened to be Marilyn Manson's girlfriend that was part of the band, or one of his girlfriends or whatever. So, yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Manson at this time has not responded to this, but all of the other claims against him, Manson has denied.
Like all gaslighting, because this is exactly who this guy is. It's exactly who this guy is.
I actually almost did kick his ass once in a bathroom at a Roger Waters concert, but I felt bad for him because he was pathetic, and I don't like beating up weak-minded individuals.
We get shaken down by the police in Louisiana. They try to tell me that I'm being pulled over for not having a driver's license, even though I had just rented the bus that we're on. But somehow, like, I guess I forgot to pay something and it popped up right during that little period of time. So all of a sudden now it's like, whoops, bad timing. I guess my license is suspended, and this is how I found out. So we get down to the police station. They couldn't charge me with anything because I didn't do anything wrong other than driving with a suspended license, which quite honestly should have just been a warning because it was within 30 days. And they start doing a shakedown and going through all the girls, like search and seizure, all this stuff. And they find nothing on me. But then they are like, well, you know, we're going to arrest all these girls and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, look, what, for like a little bit of weed that they found literally, or like a girl would have like a half of a Valium at the bottom of her purse that didn't have a prescription bottle, and they're arresting them and giving them felonies and trying to ruin their lives over this. At the end of the road, the same road that we were on 40 minutes away, was the next venue we were supposed to play. And that venue happened to be, the venue owner happened to be a cop. The sheriff, actually, of the town that was the next town over from where we got pulled over. It never looked like there was meant to be a concert there. They had nothing set up. They had nothing ready to go. So what happened was they probably were in the middle of nowhere. They put their concert on sale. They didn't get the sales they wanted. And they said, sure, we'll sign up for this. And they sold me out, basically. They shook us down. They got all of our money. They lifted all the cash that we had made from the road from that point to bail all these girls out of jail. Let's just go sell this story to the press and tell everybody he got arrested for drugs. At 18 years old, there I was once again reinventing the wheel. I was like, well, I'm either going to spend the rest of my life being a screw up, or I'm going to get sober and get my life together. So that's what I did. So I got sober, got my life together by 19. So before I was legal to drink in a bar, I was sober. Back in LA, I do a few talk shows to try to convince everyone that I'm clean and sober. But then I'm right back downtown. I have almost no money. Not enough for the 2 balloons of heroin or the crack rock I so desperately need.
I had a very famous female star sit here, talk to me. 2 hours later, somebody called and said she was arrested, and we had been doing a story on her being clean.
Wow.
Right? I'm very cynical because generally I can look at eyes, and I've talked to about 4 people who are telling me they're sober, and I know they're using as I'm sitting here talking to them.
Take that hit.
Don't make me do drugs. Why are you trying to force me? No,
you said it's
I'm
vegetable
not doing
oil.
It. I'm not doing it. You can't make me. The sting of 2 failed projects was one thing. The unexplained pain with which I was still struggling was another. All those things combined, however, led to a catastrophic moment of weakness, one I have never before admitted to publicly. By the end of 1995, I was gobbling 20 double-strength Vicodin a day, and I thought marijuana might be better than prescription pill use. So I smoked a joint. The joint led to an 8-ball, and the 8-ball led to a full-fledged relapse. My relapse only lasted a little bit more than a month, and I never have had another hard drug again since.
Margot, he claims to be absolutely clean for, if I'm not mistaken, 20 years.
Anybody out there who really thinks he was clean and sober for 2 decades, I have a bridge to sell you.
We had seen him doing lines on the side of the stage in between songs. Because we would do, so each angel in the band did a solo. And during those solos, he didn't play with us. So he'd go off stage. And when he went off stage, he would change costumes. So, you know, some of the times he was hitting a line or two. And I wasn't the only one that saw it.
Well, he's not a sober guy. I'm going to tell you that right now. You know, everybody has their pot they smoke and all that stuff. But there was a time where I went back to the back of the bus to check out the back bathroom because this bus had particularly 2 bathrooms. Going back to the back to, fix a switch, you see a Ziploc full bag of pills with no prescription bottles. That was one of the big things I brought up to the owner of the company. This shit can't be on the bus.
Did you all watch A Tale of Two Corys, like one big group? Was it a big night?
Yeah, we got to watch it. I remember everyone applauding at the end when the thing flashes on the screen and it says he's been sober for 20 years, and everyone clapped except me because I know the truth.
Did everybody else clapping not know the truth?
What became a huge problem is he would be driving the RV and, hitting a pipe taking hits off his marijuana pipe and texting with the other hand and trying to drive with his knee sometimes or his palm with the other. And we were swerving all over, a 2-lane highway.
Do you smoke weed?
Well, if it's necessary.
What does that mean?
Well, it's medicinal, right? So if it's necessary.
How good a liar was he?
Oh, excellent.
How good?
He could look you straight in the eye and say, I love you so much. I would never do anything to hurt myself or hurt anybody else. And I would never do drugs and life means more to me than that and this. And that carried on for years. When they keep telling you, I'm being honest, I really am better. And you want to believe it so bad, So you start believing it after a while. And then all of a sudden they do it again and again and again. And you don't know when, the time to stop believing and start believing ends and begins.
I've been secluded for some time. I'm in a remote location right now, as you can probably tell. But it's a much better location than the last time I came to you with the campaign video.
Same person who says, I'm $600,000 in debt from this movie. 3 days after he had the big launch, he's in Jamaica at an adult resort with his wife that cost $400 or $500 a day.
Everybody was forcing me to come forward with information, telling me it was time to name names, and all I asked was that everybody helped out and contributed so that I could get the message out, so I could do it in the best way I knew how, which was to make a movie. Well, you guys turned out in spades. You were incredible. Within 12 hours, we raised $125,000. I was blown away. Even though I raised this money to protect myself, with that security, with the legal costs and all of that stuff covered, and to make a movie, by the time they got done battering me in court, there wasn't enough money left to make a movie.
But he's in debt $600,000. The hell is going on here? But he's begging you to spend money so he can live like this.
You owe your own fucking agent thousands and thousands of dollars, plus a gazillion other people, and you're hiding in the Bahamas. Don't worry, when I can find your ass, you will be served.
We raised $250,000 or something, and then Judy Haim happened, and she goes out there and she starts trying to tell everybody that I'm lying and that it's all a fraud and I'm making it up for my own good and I'm just trying to scam people for money, all this crazy stuff. So people started listening to her and everything went the other way, and all of a sudden the campaign started losing. And so we just basically were like, well, screw it. It's not going to happen that way. Retract, rethink. So at that point, I decided, you know what? I'll find a way to get the truth out by making a documentary. It'll be much cheaper. It'll be much smaller. Yeah. But we're going to get the facts out.
Now we get to this infamous documentary.
I'm putting all this information together and I'm documenting it all and I'm putting it into a succinct operation, some type of documentary movie or something like that, so I can show everybody, including the legal system, including all of you, the facts of how it went all down, and so that you can hear for the first time the full truth about how my best friend was raped. So we started going down that road. Then I got some private funding from an investor, but then the investor decided to back out. More than likely because we lost a lot of our witnesses, because a lot of the witnesses started getting intimidated. They were being tampered with. So the investors got scared and everything fell apart. I went to a few of the big places like Netflix and blah, blah, blah to try to get distribution deals. Nobody wanted to touch it. Nobody wanted to look at it. I'm like, but you're doing the Epstein documentary. Like, yeah, we can talk about Harvey Weinstein raping women. We can talk about the fact that there's terrible people that sometimes get away with stuff, but we don't want to admit that there's kids that are getting molested in our business. God forbid. One way or another, we're going to release the documentary that's going to expose this entire conspiracy to try to destroy us. Okay? I think that's all we have to say. Is there anything else, honey?
The book came out, the movie came out. Man, if somebody is writing anybody's coattails, this is like a huge sign. And now the documentary.
This documentary is coming out one way or another. You are going to get the whole truth. You are going to find out the name of the person who molested me and raped my best friend. You're going to get to know the names of all of those people, the whole ring.
that I promised you is coming out. You cannot break my will. And they've tried. Trust me, they've tried. And they're continuing to try, and it hurts. But I'm still here, and I'm still fighting, and I'm still speaking my truth.
My truth. The first 45 minutes, you know, he's bad-mouthing Corey Haim and bad-mouthing his mother, you know, Corey Haim's mom. And I'm like, it's enough. I had enough at this point. Now, if this guy is your best friend in the world, how do you bash him and bash his mother?
Corey Feldman's documentary, you know, and how he is going to expose emails and me lying. You know, the guy's lost his mind.
This is about taking down one specific ring of people who destroyed my life and destroyed my best friend's life, and also about exposing the people who've worked non-stop around the clock to try and prevent this message from coming, to try to prevent my truth from coming. Well, they failed. All you can do to help at this point is support me by not getting a stream or free download of the movie when it comes out. I spent my own money, and I had to break principles to make it happen. So please support us when this movie comes out by downloading your own copy of the movie and watching it for yourself.
He says we need people to watch it, and we need people to pay for it. You must pay for it because you're cheating the producers and the talent and the crew who worked on deferred payments. They're going to get paid later. What exactly did he pay for?
You know, I spent $1.3 million to make that film. I self-financed, self-distributed.
I don't care if they had filet mignon and lobster tail every night when they were doing this thing for over the course of the 2 years. You can't spend that much money on this thing. It's a camera. There's a director. He's shooting the camera. It's video. It's cheap. It's nothing. They shot it mostly at his house. Hollywood is creative. And even as much of an a-hole as he may be, he wrote the song for the movie. He's got to get paid for that. So whatever he told his investors that he spent, I bet you 2/3 of it was spent somehow on him. It was going to name the names, and it was going to be the big Hollywood mogul and the producer into this. And what did you get? Nothing. He said the same thing in the documentary. He said in the book, and he said everywhere else. He's nothing new.
He said Charlie Sheen raped him. That's what he told me.
Absolute fucking bullshit.
This is the guy who Dominic names in 2017 or 18.
Mr. Haim's mom, she's alleged a guy like that abused him, and says it's not Charlie Sheen. Based on your knowledge, do you think she's right? Or
I made her a promise that I would stay out of what she's doing, and I'm doing my best to keep that on.
Yes, sir.
I know of a friend of mine, Dominic Barachi,
The guy you used to hang out with.
same guy, went and spoke to a reporter and gave all the information, and they were, the day before I launched my campaign, they were supposed to put out a story in the Inquirer, and they came to me for a comment, and I said, no comment. Let them tell their story. And next thing you know, the story comes out.
A story comes out in one of the periodicals, in one of the tabloids, from Dominic Braja that says Charlie Sheen did something to Corey Haim in between two trailers with a can of Crisco oil.
He went into great detail. He told me Charlie bent me over in between two trailers and put Crisco oil on my butt and raped me. In broad daylight, anybody could have walked by, anybody could have seen it.
Charlie Sheen's father's in the industry, uncle's in the industry, brother's in the industry. He's been on sets since he was a kid. Is it logical or sensible that he's going to do something to a young boy on a set outside where people could see him?
People want to believe that it was something that happened on Lucas. People want to, it wasn't. Like I was on the set of Lucas every day for the entire shoot.
We may as well address it now. We're talking about the Charlie Sheen allegation, and you were there, and like
I was there. He started all this BS after my son passed away. So I have a feeling that he said, okay, now I'm going to destroy him. Now I'm going to destroy his mother. Now I'm going to go on and use all of these things to my benefit. This makes an awful lot of sense.
He's had a couple of friends who are, you know, celebrities, and they have said that we stand with Corey, and yet at the same time, we can't back everything that he's saying.
Look who he has. He has his ex-wife, he has his brother, he has his cousin, his old 30-something-year manager, you know. Then he's got two other actors that worked with him that are in it very briefly. I mean, they are the most brief thing of anything.
Had I heard it in the context of rape? No, I hadn't heard it in context of rape. I had heard it in that he had said to Haim, "This is what men do."
I mean, it was kind of unspoken. I mean, Dominic always talked about it because he was obsessed with it. But everybody seemed to be under the impression that Charlie Sheen was diddling him on the set of Lucas.
Haim told me specifically about what had happened to him on the set of Lucas. If Feldman had not told me that that's what he'd been told for years, I would have probably not believed it.
I thought Corey Feldman said that he's the only one that he told to tell his story. Meanwhile, if he told anybody that would listen about Charlie, then how come I've asked so many people and they've never heard of it? All of his friends. No one has ever heard him ever say that.
Corey Haim was open with me, crying, telling me what had happened with Dominic. I clearly asked him, did anything else happen with anybody else? His answer was no. Are you sure? Yes. Nobody else did anything? No.
I should have taken legal action against Feldman, but I didn't feel like giving that clown that much more, content. He just went out of his way to launch this thing, and we were friends back in the day, or so I thought.
I don't know who else Dominic did this. Now he is refusing, obviously. What is he going to say? Oh yeah, it was me. He's doubling up on what Feldman said with Charlie. Feldman came up with Charlie because he's embarrassed. He doesn't want anyone to know that it's Dominic. He kept saying Charlie. Corey was 11, and I keep saying Corey was in school. He didn't even start working.
If he did, which he didn't, you gonna tell me there's not one other kid that he did it to? There isn't even a girl who was 14, 15, 16 back then who has come forward to say he did something. Nobody has come forward. Nobody. No. Nobody has said anything about Alfie Hoffman. Nobody. He's around kids for years. Nothing. Zero. There's only one person who has started this and continuously says it, and that is Corey Feldman, and it is a load of bullshit.
It's a piece of vile fiction, is what it is.
You want motive? Corey Feldman does not like Charlie Sheen. There's no question about it.
Right.
He worked with Haim. There you go. Just put the two pieces together and the puzzle's complete. Charlie Sheen must have done something.
The guy's mom came out and said, this is impossible. This is impossible.
I don't know what personal vendetta he's got against him, but it has nothing to do with us, and I have to keep fighting it all the time. For my kid's sake.
Well,
Whatever.
maybe because
it's a woman. Something to do with a woman.
Let's put it this way: Charlie
Well,
gets more women.
I kind of heard that. Yeah.
Charlie gets more women. Charlie gets more movies. Charlie has more money. Charlie has more power. Charlie has more Do I need to go on?
No, I also had a woman statutory rape me, so, that happens too. The Comedy Store was inherited by comedian Pauly Shore's mother, Mitzi, after her 1973 divorce. Sam was there outside the club with a motley crew, a number of comedians, a circle of girls, and Ron Jeremy, who I immediately recognized from his movies.
I don't like Ron Jeremy. You don't let Ron Jeremy come to your parties, do you?
Yeah, does Ron Jeremy does come to my party.
Oh, damn. It's a Ron Jeremy party.
We chatted for a bit until he pointed to a girl in the crowd. Yeah, you see that girl? You think she's cute? She's gorgeous, I said. Probably a little too old for me, though. Well, she really wants to meet you. She's a big fan. Jeremy took me by the hand and led me over. Corey, this is one of the biggest stars in the adult entertainment world. This is Ginger Lynn. We exchanged phone numbers. A week later, she picked me up in her silver Porsche and blew me in the parking lot of a drive-in theater.
And what about Feldman and Sheen? They were dating the same girl back and forth, no?
I don't exactly think Corey was dating this person. They may have had a get-together, maybe once or twice. I pretty much know once for sure because I drove him there.
We're talking August of '87. I'm in LA for 6 months. Corey Feldman is 16. I was 19. We had already met a couple times and whatever. And I was the only one who drove. He wasn't old enough to drive it. He's 16 plus. He called me up. He says, you need to drive me to the Comedy Store later. I have to meet up with Ginger Lynn, the adult actress. I said, okay, you're full of it. Because this was, a time Ginger was a vivid girl and she was at her prime and all that stuff. He's like, no, really, dude, I need a ride. Dude, I got to see this for myself. I got to see it. So I drove him to the Comedy Store in LA on Sunset. We parked, go around the building to the back of the Comedy Store. Not in the building itself, just the back walkway. And sure enough, there's Ginger and a few other people. We talked for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And I said to him, are you okay? Oh, I'm great. Thank you so much. I said, okay, goodbye. I'm out of here. I don't need to stay. I told this story on 92 in Howard Stern, on Howard Stern, with him sitting next to me. He didn't argue. He didn't say, no, you're wrong. You have it mixed up. Didn't say any of that. You know what he said? Hey, Howard, can you play my music? Can you play my new song, man? That's what he said. That's what he wanted to promote.
If you were 15 years old and you got Ginger Lynn, the porno star, who I think is a real piece of ass. I like her. Knockout, right?
10.
A 10.
Yeah.
And especially the stuff that she knows how to do.
Awesome. Yeah.
How
do you know, Scott? I've seen it, baby. No, because he was watching me.
So you're 15 years old, you get a Ginger Lynn.
Right.
Why don't you go back a couple more times? Like, why is it only a one-nighter?
Oh, it wasn't a one-nighter.
Oh, it wasn't?
Ginger and I dated for a couple months.
Oh, no kidding.
At
15.
And then she went with Charlie Sheen.
What do you think of this Eddie Furlong thing? You think that's normal, don't you?
Well, of course. For God's sakes. God bless Eddie Furlong.
Eddie's 16.
God bless him.
He's 16.
Living with a 30-year-old.
He was in Arnold Schwarzenegger's movie, The Terminator. Or
Terminator 2.
Terminator 2.
Right.
And he's got a 29-year-old tutor.
It's good for him.
You're not kidding. Boy,
I'm sure she's teaching him a couple
things. And she is hot.
I haven't seen pictures.
See, I have trouble if it's a 16-year-old girl with a 29-year-old guy.
Right, exactly. That bothers me.
That bothers me,
right,
too.
Because it's like, wait, just slow down.
Yeah, right. It's like, hey,
just slow down.
Yeah, mellow out.
But, God bless him. Because, you always have fantasies that you're going to have, like, some beautiful teacher when you're in school.
Yeah.
And they come and they...
And this kid's an actor, and he had it come true.
Yeah. And I had Ginger Lynn. I don't go out with girls that like to flaunt themselves.
No.
What? It's okay if they do
Ginger
whatever.
Lynn.
Hello. Well, all right. No. I didn't take Ginger Lynn seriously. There's a difference.
The second time, a third, I would have no idea after that. But that person did actually date Charlie, but I'm pretty sure it was later. I guess he saw this woman on and off, or whatever you want to call it. Dating, or seeing on and off, whatever, for a couple months. Well, she stopped seeing him to start seeing Charlie Sheen.
I'd been dating Charlie Spradling, a quintessential B actress and wannabe Playboy pinup. It was a whirlwind romance, full of drama and fighting and lying and suspicion. Rumors are swirling that she's been cheating on me with Charlie Sheen. People seem to love seeing Charlie and Charlie together. I'm devastated by the breakup.
Now, you're dealing with an egomaniac, narcissistic whack job who holds grudges.
I can't sue him. I can't throw him behind bars. There's nothing I can do other than publicly humiliating them, which is great.
Dominic Brasha is one person that I know that my son ever talked about. There are no more abusers out there. I want people to understand that.
There were statements made by Feldman that Charlie Sheen was paying Judy Haim to keep quiet, keep silent. Judy Haim lives in a one-bedroom apartment with federal assistance from the country of Canada and the city of Toronto. She gets food stamps to buy food. This is not a woman with money of any kind. But this is what Feldman has claimed. Am I protecting somebody? Am I a pedo protector? No. The only person in any of this stuff who's been a pedo protector is Corey Feldman himself, knowing that his friend Dominic did something to Haim and did nothing about it, kept him around, and still hired him for work.
We played it for the 700 people who were at the Directors Guild. It was a sold-out room. 50,000 people waiting to see it around the world. I was about to start the film because it was supposed to line up.
Yeah.
And the projectionist calls me and says, we have a problem. I said, what's the problem? As the film started, all of a sudden the thing froze. And people all over the world who paid money to see the film could not see it because there was an interruption of service. It was a DDoS server attack. They got like thousands of line communications that were like sent all at the same time to overload the system. Then they stole the stream. They made a copycat website that went up literally live the moment our stream came down, and they started selling tickets for $30 versus us who were charging $20 for the ticket. Then they made multiple copies, put it all over YouTube. So they put out about 200 free links. The first one got 250,000 views before YouTube would take it down. And we were sending them letters for weeks and they wouldn't listen. So 250,000 views at $20 a pop. How much money is that?
5 million?
More. Try 50 million. It's 50 million.
I think it's 5.
It's 5 million.
20 divided by 4.
So it's 5 million.
I don't think so. But the point is, altogether, it came out to like $80 million.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been a lucrative business play.
I had bills I have to pay back. I have people that, like a whole crew that was working on spec, you know. And then on top of it, what we could have done with the profits. They froze the account on my PayPal account at exactly $666,000 at 8 o'clock at night. How would you be able to time that so perfectly? I was pre-selling for a month and a half before that night, and somehow it landed at exactly that number. That tells me that they were controlling it the whole time. So we had another copy. They didn't expect that.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, they thought we were running one copy, so nobody would be able to see the film. And the narrative that they put out in the first story at 5 a.m. when the story broke the next morning was that there was no movie, and it was all a lie, and I was trying to scam people out of money. That's the way they wanted to spin it. Somehow the media just never talked about it, because the next day was COVID, so nobody wanted to talk about it.
It came out, like your movie came out the same time COVID did.
Yeah, right?
Which is crazy.
Conveniently.
If you want to go down that hole.
That's a big hole. Like literally, it was, 48 hours later, the entire government shut down, the entire Hollywood shut down. Now, what did I say before the movie came out? I said, when my movie comes out, Hollywood will shut down. And so I've never been on any talk shows. The news won't have me on. That's why I say media blackout, because all the mainstream media has prevented me from coming forth and talking about this story.
There are powers that be that are much more powerful than I am, that would like to make sure that I don't get these truths out. And I think that a big part of that is throwing me off balance. You know, there is a system to this. There is a method to this madness.
There's a lot of adversity. There's a lot of people trying to silence me right now because they don't want me to speak the truth. But it's out there. Have you ever heard of YouTube taking down an entire channel from a celebrity? I think it's some kind of like espionage, some kind of conspiracy to bring me down. I don't know who's behind it or why. Hi everyone, it's Corey. I just wanted to take a moment to say, first of all, please ignore the false Twitter accounts and Facebook accounts that keep popping up. Obviously, there's somebody out there that's trying to sabotage me. They call themselves anonymous or black hats or whatever they are. The bottom line is they're evil and they're doing this to create negativity in my life and prevent me from achieving my goals. So please don't pay them any attention. Just block their accounts. Don't respond to them. Do you know that there's these podcasts that all they do, their whole purpose, their whole existence is just to berate me, is just to belittle me? Who funds that?
Why?
Who funds it?
Why do they do that?
Exactly. We've been attacked brutally and viciously, ongoing, by a group of people who have, I don't know, a podcast or a YouTube show or something like that. I've never seen it. These people have been stalking, harassing, and doing deplorable, awful things to my family and I. For, I would say, years. I don't know how long they've been around, but I know that literally their entire show consists of trying to degrade me. You disgusting scumbags. Okay, so the name of the show is called Jim and Them. I want everybody to remember that, because they want this attention so bad. Well, let's give them the attention that they're looking for. There's 3 of them, three different ones on 3 different networks, 3 different hosts, 3 different everything, but they all do it every day, every episode.
Do you ever go up to them?
How would I find them? They hide in the shadows. How would I know where they are?
If you ever met them, would you confront them?
If I met them, it probably wouldn't go over very well. It probably wouldn't go over very well. People don't realize I can scrap.
I know.
So come at me. There's something more devious at hand here. I think that somebody has some kind of plot to try and destroy me.
Or do you think it's actually funded?
3 whole shows? One of them by a studio?
A studio?
I'm not gonna go there.
You just did.
I can't say anymore.
Let's throw every curveball we can at this guy to see if we can shake him. See if we can throw him off his guard.
Can
because
they, Corey?
Do I look shaken?
No, sir.
Do I look stirred?
Not at all.
Okay then.
The fact that these people were all working together on a nefarious plot to destroy me is like so disgusting. And not only that, but how far they took it. My solo stuff is all over the map. It's pop, it's rock, it's some cases hip hop, some cases EDM, like literally all over the genres. Ascension Millennium went viral, and that was my first hit on MTV, and it was like 2 million views in like a day or something. It was great. I mean, it was like, okay, we did it. Here we are. Angelic to the Core, the album that I produced, which was actually my most successful album to date. My first top 40 Billboard hit was on that album. It was called Go For It. It's a song I did with Snoop Dogg. And that's the one we did on the Today Show, which went viral.
Well, he did the Today Show, and it was so bad that they said, okay, this was bad, the sound or whatever it was, so we'll let you do it again.
First one was such a big deal that they actually had to bring us back and do it again. So it was pretty cool.
But they didn't actually have it on the Today Show. They had it on the after hours internet feed. So it wasn't actually on the live it was on the after show.
It was the most viewed performance in the Today Show history. We got the most views ever in the history of the Today Show. We did the Today Show.
Yeah.
1 billion people watched it in 3
Whoa.
days. 1 billion people watched it over like 2 days, which was crazy.
Wow.
More people watched that performance than anything at any time in the history of the Today Show. It was over 1 billion views within a day. That's what she said.
The year's most watched today.com video.
Tamara Hall said it on live TV. She goes, "This is the most viewed performance in the TodayShow.com ever." Boom. Like historical views. It was a crazy thing. We broke the internet, all that kind of stuff. So the moment the Today Show was over, every headline,
Corey Feldman's bizarre performance. Corey Feldman was terrible. What's wrong with this guy? You know what I mean? It was like they just nailed me to the cross.
You're a freak.
A freak! I'd rather be a freak than a whore! It was all across the board. Everybody had the exact same headline. Like, you're telling me that there's not one single media outlet that saw it a little bit differently or had a different perspective or wrote maybe a few different words? No, it was the exact same language across the board. What was that bizarre, strange performance? You know, Corey Feldman really blew the, donkey or whatever. Like, it was terrible. What was he thinking? Which was obviously a setup. I mean, like, every single media outlet at the exact same moment, the second we walked off stage, was like, what was that? With all the negative press that they gave me, we did a sold-out tour. The album sold more than I'd ever sold. And the more they nailed me to the cross, what I found, the bigger the reception, the bigger the audience, the more people wanted to love me. The funny thing is, I feel like it should have been this way all along. It's not like my music suddenly got good, it's just that people finally started listening. Then shortly after that, they saw that it was working too.
Who are they? This is the community of reaction folk like myself, I guess. The media.
And their response was, let's take it back to making fun of him. Let's get rid of all this serious credibility.
So you think it started anew?
Yes, it did start anew, because all of a sudden, literally there was this guy, and I don't even know his name.
Say my name. Say my name, Corey. Corey, say my name.
This guy who came out after the Today Show.
My name is Justin David Hawkins.
He stood up for me and he said, you know what? It was art. It wasn't bad. People try to think it was bad. It wasn't. Let's look deeper at what he's doing here. This is ingenious. This is great. This is da-da-da. And I was like, wow, look, somebody gets it. This is awesome. I was all excited. That same guy comes back 5 years, 7 years later and goes, I figured out the Corey Feldman thing.
We all laugh at him thinking, oh, how could someone be so oblivious to what some people would describe as embarrassing behaviour? But more recently, with every kind of new piece of footage that emerges, I start to think, how can so many things go wrong so often for one person? It has to be on purpose, and maybe it is.
It's all a joke. Corey Feldman is a fraud. He's trolling us because it's so bad. His music is so bad, and it's such a joke, obviously, that he can't possibly take himself seriously. And not only does he not take himself seriously, but he's doing this on purpose to make all of us think that he's trying to take it seriously, so he's having a laugh at us.
This is his joke, it's not their joke. He's the commander of this. I mean, I've done that myself.
I don't have the track coming to my mind.
On the same count, everybody, really.
I mean, to come out on stage and immediately reprimand the keyboard player or whoever it is, he's pointing accusingly at one of the musicians there and asking him to start it again.
Oh. If you can hear me, please turn down the house lights.
For somebody who's been in show business for that long, to try and sell us the idea that he's not aware that it's the wrong thing to do to shout down the microphone to complain to your lighting guy, it's just preposterous to me. I mean, this is hilarious and brilliant.
When you've toured for 30 years, how many times has the sound gone out?
That's not it. Do we all get it? Does everybody want to stay put? You guys want to hear this song or what?
Like, how many times have you hit your tooth into the mic?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
We deal with stuff. Stuff goes wrong constantly, and we're constantly having meltdowns.
All right, stop the show. Stop the show. If you can't respect the show, we will kick you out. Do you understand? Now I'm pissed.
I mean, there's always a problem. There's always things that happen on the road. It's just part of what happens. If you want to see it as a joke, you go right ahead. And you keep propagating that while I'll keep making my songs and we'll keep getting more and more followers and spreading the love. Corey. Now I've got 3 top 40 Billboard hits under my belt. You know, we've done successful tours all over the United States. We're going international this year. So it's become a real thing. And it was just through a lot of dedication, hard work, and perseverance, and manifestation, because I always believed this is where I was supposed to end up, you know?
Yeah.
But it just took a long time for everybody else to catch on. Fred and I met at the Playboy Mansion back in the 90s, and, you know, at the time he mentioned to me that he was a fan of my music. He's like, we got to work together. Let's do something together. I don't care if it's a song, an album, a movie. We got to do something. And I was like, sure. So we traded numbers, and, you know, we kind of kept in touch through the years. And it took about a decade before we were both able to kind of lock our schedules into place and find each other. I was about to do this crazy sold out show at House of Blues in San Diego. I was just about to go on stage, and I get a text from him saying, hey, man, how come I haven't heard back from you about the offer I sent? And I'm like, offer? What are you talking about? And then at the same time, I see my manager saying, hey, man, I've got this offer from Limp Bizkit, blah, 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 blah. This was it. It was low serve ill. And that's what we call it, by the way, low serve
Oh, I love
ill.
that.
Right,
I
right.
love that.
Low
Yes.
serve ill. Low serve ill. That's the name of the tour. You know, like we're going to give you a low serve and it's going to be ill. Anyway, so... I'm getting ready to start a show that's going to test my abilities and skills.
What is it?
Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, boy! That's why you look like that.
Well, if this would have happened 20 years ago, I would have killed that show. I would have destroyed it. Now? I don't know.
Do you believe in the Illuminati? You don't believe it at all?
Of course I do.
Okay.
I know what's real and what's not. We all know. They expose themselves. They show themselves. They go, this is who we are. I know that it's there. I know that it's real. I know people have been invited. I'm not saying whether I have or not, but the point is that if I had, I would have said no. If I was, you wouldn't be seeing all the bad press about me all the time. Does this mean if I ever do better, then people are going to all of a sudden assume that I must have made a deal? Great.
But
so
hold
if
on.
I win Dancing with the Stars, oh my...
In September of 2025, Corey Feldman indeed starred on Dancing with the Stars, but he was only able to make it to the second round before he was voted off the show.
I feel a bit wounded at the moment. I'll probably hang up my dance shoes and probably won't be dancing in my shows anymore, because I guess I'm over the hill now, and that's how this goes.
You set him straight. Yes, you have to continue to dance. The world needs more of Corey Feldman dance moves.
Thank you. I think they've had plenty.
You are funny. I love that you're laughing and that you found the humor in all of this.
Got to.
Surprisingly, Corey apparently thought there was something sinister behind his removal from the show. The voices that are being used here, including that of Corey Feldman's, are actually AI generated for the purpose of illustration.
Thank you for all the love and support. I definitely smell a rat, and I will definitely explain more at a later date. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now, let's focus on a positive thing for me.
Wholeheartedly agreed. Something isn't right when I'm seeing certain people being elevated by the industry, and you're not as much as you should be. Why the hell is Nasty Sheen all of a sudden making a comeback totally unrelated to this article, but completely unexpected at the same time your career should be taking off again? The most out of everyone.
Not unrelated at all. In fact, you just hit the nail or needle right on its head. I'm a Goonie! I'm a Goonie! Woohoo! I didn't think 40 years from now it's going to be like Star Wars of kids movies, you know, or adventure films or whatever, but it's kind of what it's become, you know. I mean, even Warner Brothers says, you know, it's our #1 family film, our family title. Now you're talking about the company that brought you The Wizard of Oz and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And both of them have now been beaten out by Goonies. oh, that thing? You know, like I don't really spend much time thinking about it. I'm really not in talking about the same stuff I've talked about a million times.
Fans cannot wait for the Goonies sequel.
Goonies? Is it for real?
God, no! I wish everybody would leave me alone.
No. Oh, well. No?
No, it's a rumor, man.
Of course, the writer recently said that the second draft is like 95% finished. Have you read any of it yet?
I have not, and I don't know if they've included my character, but right now I can tell you that I am officially not involved. I'm not doing it ever again. Yeah. Never again.
Warner Brothers confirmed a follow-up is in the works.
And they're planning on something. We wish them well, and if they come to us, we'll consider it at that time.
But would you like to be reunited with the gang? Where would you like to see Mouth go?
Maybe. Goonies never say die. I was hard at work on the set. We usually rode from soundstage to soundstage on our bikes, but on that day, I was walking. As I passed the commissary, I noticed a man, slight build, with a full beard and thick-rimmed glasses, sitting outside on a bench. He seemed at once familiar, and yet, somehow, sort of strange. Creepy almost. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And then, suddenly, he waved his hand in my direction. I turned and doubled back. "I'm Paul," he said when I approached him. "What's your name?" "I'm Corey." "Nice to meet you." "Corey, listen, I'm here working on a movie, and I think you've got a really great look. I'm doing this movie, and I think there may be a part for you in it. Basically, the main character's bike gets stolen from the kid. And I think you might be perfect for that role, playing the kid who steals the bike. Have you ever heard of Pee Wee Herman?" That's me. As it turned out, I couldn't do the film. I was way too busy with the Goonies. Pee Wee Herman, as silly as it sounds, felt like my own private discovery. Crispin had wandered into an antique toy store and came out with $1,000 worth of toys. His favorite was a novelty yellow submarine. He had whined and complained until the other actors reluctantly squeezed themselves into the already packed van in order to make room for his purchases. But that still didn't explain why production had been delayed.
He reportedly held up shooting because he lost his antique toy boat in the lake. He raved and carried on like Klaus Kinski, while the director had to put the crew in scuba gear and wetsuits to look for it. Any truth to this story?
No, I was on some kind of talk show thing, and somebody brought up a quote that Corey Feldman had written in a book that he called Choreography.
We'd been shut down for nearly 2 hours. He won't go back to work until we find it. I looked over at Crispin, who is now in the middle of a full-on star fit, huffing and puffing and stomping on the ground, and laughed out loud. I couldn't help it. This was hilarious. I was totally impressed. Here was a full-grown man, at 20, he seemed fully grown to me, throwing a childlike tantrum, and it was working.
I don't know exactly what his true memory of it is or how much he's embellishing. I do remember what he's talking about. I had a little plastic submarine. I'm a professional actor. I know I would be fired if I were to hold up shooting on any level at all. I think there were some ADs that helped me find it. It certainly didn't hold up shooting. I mean, it was just some little stupid toy that I was playing with. He's written a book, and he's selling a book, and to a certain extent, he's writing things to be kind of sensational, and I haven't read the whole book, but I was on the
that's
talk show.
concerning to me, because some of the stuff he says about Corey Haim, and, you know, we're not going to go into that, but that kind of delegitimizes some of his other claims, right?
Well, I don't, you know, I don't know. But I mean, it really, that isn't the truth. The story doesn't make sense, having to do with I mean, I didn't have an antique submarine, but no production would shut down to find a toy. It just wouldn't happen. No way would that happen. He was a kid. He's gone through a lot. I like Corey Feldman. I don't have any problem with him. He may have some kind of memory that he's embellished for real, or he may be embellishing for the sake of the writing. I don't know. it isn't true. I don't want to get into some big problem. It's like, it would not be worth going into that kind of thing, particularly not legally. It's just like, okay, whatever.
They had been meeting with me about doing Tommy versus Jason, like H2O style, Tommy versus Jason. That was the plan. And they screwed me, and they decided to go a completely different direction, not because they were screwing me, just because they were deciding to go a different direction, and inadvertently I got screwed.
A lot of people don't know it, but you were the voice of one of the Ninja Turtles, Donatello, isn't that right?
That's right. And also, I just found out I'm going to be doing the voice of Donatello in the Ninja Turtles Part 3.
All right. He'll be in the Ninja Turtles, He'll be in the Ninja Turtles forever. Isn't that great now?
National Lampoon's Last Resort, working under the umbrella of National Lampoon, we thought would guarantee a relatively high production value. Unbeknownst to us, a low-rent company had recently merged with National Lampoon in order to cash in on the name.
So I did this movie called Ski School, which I love. And on the ski slopes, it's freezing. And I tell the producer, why are we freezing? Why don't we go to the Bahamas and shoot a movie called Scuba School? And the guy looks at me and he goes, that's genius. Why don't you write it? And so I wrote it. It's going to end up starring myself and my brother. And the producer is selling this movie. And I get a call saying, okay, we've got the money, and great news. Corey Feldman's going to be the other guy. So it's going to be me and Corey starring in this movie. This is the movie that later became Last Resort. And I'm like, Corey Feldman? And what about my brother? And I go, yeah, well, you know, Corey Feldman. I'm like, he's going to do great for video. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. Oh. And so I'm like, all right. So I tell my brother, hey, man, it's business is business. We're getting the movie made. Then I get a call saying, hey, great news. We got Corey. And I go, yeah, I know. And he goes, yeah, Corey Feldman. And he goes, no, we got the other Corey. Corey Haim? Corey Feldman dropped out. And I go, no, we got Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. I'm like, well, who's Corey Haim going to play? And they go, he's going to play your part. And so I said, well, okay, get the movie made. And so long story short, that's this whole, you know, it ended up being this movie. That's how I know Corey.
Blown Away was an erotic thriller. The film sold to HBO as a first-run feature in April 1993, when it premiered to amazing ratings, being the highest-rated original film for HBO at the time. Mark Cronin. He approached me and said, hey, we've got this new concept. We're going to put 7 legends, icons together in a house, in a home, and watch what happens when we put these amazing people together and see how they bond. The Surreal Life, which of course was not putting 7 icons in a house, but let's put 7 guys we used to think were cool in a house and make fun of them.
Yeah.
So they didn't tell us what the real goal of the show was. In fact, they promised us to the moon and back that it wasn't that show.
You spent a lot of time with Aaron Carter in the house.
I did.
And it looked like you guys were really able to be support systems for each other.
You know, he had this thing of living in the shadow of his brother. My brother had the thing of living in my shadow. So there's a lot of parallels. And not only that, but he was very, very similar to Corey Haim. You know, shockingly so. Like they had this I don't know, this parallel thing going on.
Oh, wow.
That was like, I mean, with the tattoos and with, you know, the smoking and just like the kind of rebel kind of attitude.
Hey, there are several stories online about you knocking Aaron Carter for the whole thing. Are you guys good?
I've never said one bad thing about Aaron.
It was something about a challenge, and you said he screamed like a girl.
No. I called him a bitch on the show to his face, but I don't talk about him behind his back.
Okay.
If I have something to say, I'll say it.
All right.
Yeah.
So you guys are good. There's nothing there.
We currently have each other blocked on Twitter.
Okay.
So whatever that means. But apparently he's
Why have you blocked him on Twitter?
Because he asked me to.
Oh, okay.
But that's the way that we're Aaron Carter. What do you want me to say?
Okay.
My favorite work is a film that is actually not gotten a wide theatrical release yet, but we're planning on it. It's a film called The Birthday. The Birthday is a film noir, brilliant piece of cinematic, lovely filmmaking by a genius filmmaker by the name of Eugenio Mera from Spain. We actually shot it in 2005. It came out, it got all these awards at, festivals outside of the US, but they never allowed it to be released theatrically in the US.
Why?
Gee, I wonder. They don't really want me to be on top, shall we say.
You're not on the list.
Oh, well, it should be right there under F. O.
I don't suppose you'd be lying to me.
I could have turned it all around as a young actor.
Yeah.
And I could have been that guy still. This was like my last chance to really do that.
I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody.
It's not like I lost my talent. A lot of people try to frame that. They say, oh, well then, he became an adult and he just couldn't act anymore. It was shut down, it was shelved intentionally. The powers that be shut it down and silenced the movie and stopped it from coming out, I think out of the fear that it would have given me too much of a platform, potentially would have led to, award nods and things like that. They never allowed it to come out in America. Only released in 2 countries back in 2006. And at the time that it came out, it was hailed and regarded as an incredible achievement in filmmaking, both cinematically and from an acting standpoint. I won a Best Actor award at Luxembourg, and I also, we won Best Art Direction and Best Screenplay at the Sitges Film Festival in Spain, the year that it originally was supposed to be released. I used to walk in the rooms and I'd get every part I went on. After his star-making turn in Franco Zeffirelli's 1979 remake of The Champ, Ricky Schroeder was arguably the biggest kid actor in the business. I had actually been up for the role of TJ, the son of ex-champion boxer Billy Flynn, played by John Voight. Aren't you the kid from The Shining? Which I got a lot. Everybody thought I was Danny Lloyd, and it got so bad that it actually got to the point where I started signing autographs as Danny Lloyd, because I was like, it's fine, whatever, I'll just say I'm Danny Lloyd, here you go. I was up for that role. It was down to the 2 of us. Yeah, so it was supposed to be me originally. I had the offer. A lot of people don't know this, but I was actually originally cast by Steven in E.T. I was supposed to be one of the stars of that film. What's Eating Gilbert Grape? So I was actually cast to play Leonardo DiCaprio's role. I never said I was cast in it. That was nothing I said.
Do you have a
scene? What I said is that I was told that after the decision had been made, it was revoked. But yes, I was originally cast. We're only as good as our word. And if all of a sudden you're one of those people that, oh, well, I can go back to this interview and you said exactly the opposite, you won't find that with me. Johnny Depp. He was cast after I was, and apparently whispered into the producer's ear that he wasn't fond of me, and he said I was a junkie and that he didn't work with junkies. Had I not been pushed out and done that role, who knows what would have happened. Just a couple years later, I also was up for Titanic, so there was kind of a double banger with Leo. Another one was Lord of the Rings. I was actually up for Sean's role, and I heard I got pretty close on that as well, although I couldn't have gained the weight. Do you remember who was supposed to originally star in Encino Man with you? Oh, snap.
Was that you?
That was me, bro.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And not Sean.
Right, I was actually originally going to play Brendan's part, and then I also was up for Sean's part, so I was supposed to do one of the two, and I don't know what happened, a little Hollywood, finagle.
Brian Koppelman, you've also produced movies. One of my favorites, and Corey, I bet it's one of your favorites, is Rounders, which I wrote. I didn't wrote it.
I was actually up for that movie.
I wrote the movie.
Did you do it? Did you ever see my audition
You woke
tape?
up for it?
I saw your audition tape, and I hope you play better today.
Getting to know you, that's what I was always drawn to, was your lack of ego.
I've got this literal myriad, plethora of gorgeous women that follow me around like the Pied Piper. I can make a call and have 10 smoking hot, gorgeous dimes.
Get him a phone?
At any time.
That sounds pretty egotistical. Well, I know that all I have to do is walk onto a red carpet with a girl and she's got her name in the papers, right?
Yeah.
So if I start walking on the carpet with 3 or 4 girls, then all of their names get on the papers.
Yeah.
Girls that I've dated like Paris Hilton and Drew Barrymore, and I've helped make girls famous my whole life. It's been something I've always done. So like every girl that I've ever dated or been associated with, if they were in the entertainment business or aspiring to be in the entertainment business, has become a household name. I sounded like a pompous, egotistical ass.
I have helped a lot of women with their careers in Hollywood. And then I would realize they went off to be successful, and what did I get out of it? Not much.
Are you looking for a monetary thing?
Well, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't just throw it out there. I have never heard the word asshole used more times in reference to myself.
Howard Stern, a lot of where he is today was as a result of my help.
Shut up! Shut up! You sound like an idiot!
Nobody moves like you. Am I right? Am I correct?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I see people, kind of copying the dance moves or whatever from different performances, but...
People, a lot of times, compare me to Michael Jackson. They say I look like Michael Jackson, I dress like Michael Jackson, my music is like whatever.
Michael Jackson, actually, I played him the song, and he was like a huge fan of it. He told me that it was a #1 hit, guaranteed, and that he could walk it into CBS Records, and it would definitely be a hit, which I, of course, declined. I think you're one of the best kid actors in the world. I think you're the next Marlon Brando. The greatest entertainer in the world had just told me he thought I was that good. I don't claim responsibility for writing these hit songs. I don't think you probably would either. It comes from somewhere else, we pull it, and then we get lucky enough to transmute it. Our first Billboard hit made it to number 32 on the Billboard Top 40. That was my first hit on MTV, and it was 2 million views in a day or something. It was great. We had a top 40 Billboard hit. We did the huge Today Show appearance where there was 1 billion, views or whatever. It was the most viewed performance in the Today Show history. I put this video out thinking, maybe it'll get a couple thousand views or whatever. And next thing you know, it's got 500,000 views on YouTube. Next thing you know, my page on YouTube has got 1.5 million views, thousands of subscribers. We released a vinyl record for Record Store Day just recently. And we sold 2,000 copies of vinyl at $14 a piece. Oh my God. 2,000 in one day. I am the first artist, I believe, to pop up in a hologram on top of my own box and dance across the top of it. I was the first person actually ever to do a live global streaming VOD premiere. I won Best Actor at the Luxembourg Film Festival. There had never been a teen actor that was as successful as I was that had fallen as hard as I did. It hadn't happened.
Spider-Man
I did 15
are doing fine.
#1 films. It's not like you can do 15 #1 films and then go work at Blockbuster or work at Taco Bell or whatever. Just today, Stephen King tweeted a picture of him holding my Funko Pop, and he's like, I got a signed Corey Feldman Funko Pop. He spelled my name wrong, but that's okay. I made my own version of a Corey doll. It's pretty close. It's not bad, right? He just needs a cool jacket. The jacket actually is a bit of a nostalgia in and of itself. It's a very famous jacket. This jacket is a movie star. It has appeared in several films. And then it got stolen, and it became even more famous. I was at a Steel Panther concert where I'd come up and I'd done a cameo. And it was after the performance, and I was all sweaty, and I went up to the dressing room, and I was with the guys, and we were all hanging out. And I took the jacket off. They said, do you mind if we let a couple fans in to take a picture? And I was like, sure, no problem. So we take a picture, and then next thing you know, there's a couple more and a couple more, and before you know it, there's 100 people in the room. Yeah. And I'm like, we gotta get out of here, it's hot, I can't breathe. Yeah, exactly. And I go and turn around to get my jacket, and it's gone. Okay. So I went and reported it to the Beverly Hills Police Department, and it turns into this huge story on TMZ about my stolen jacket. And then they're like, well, what happened to it? And then we asked House of Blues, and they said, oh, the security cameras weren't working that night. Of course they weren't. Yeah, exactly. Conveniently, right? Yeah. There becomes a huge, worldwide, not nationwide, but worldwide search for this jacket. And there's literally, I go to England for an appearance, and these people are coming up to me, and they've got posters and T-shirts that say "Wanted Corey's Dream a Little Dream Jacket" with a picture of the jacket. It blew up into this whole thing. This giant thing that literally became worldwide. Yeah. So at that time, which was now 7 years ago, it was appraised at $100,000. Yeah. We waited. 2 years went by. All of a sudden, we get a call from TMZ, and TMZ says, "We've got a guy who's calling from Boston." And he was at the Boston Marathon when the bombings happened. I guess 5 minutes after it happened, he walked by the finish line, and it was just like, whoa. So we got his phone number, we talked to him, and it turns out, he says, yeah, we're gonna make, you a hero because it's such a worldwide issue. We're gonna make you a hero, we're gonna blast you everywhere, and we're gonna fly you out to LA, and I've got this big concert, flew him out, and on stage, he presented me back the jacket.
Oh my God.
Kind of made him a national hero, for doing what he did and bringing the jacket back. And so it ended up being a very good, happy story.
Yeah, it was very long-winded.
Egotistical, maniacal monotony. Hi, this is Corey Feldman.
I'm not the greatest entertainer that ever lived. I'm not the greatest songwriter that ever lived. I'm not the greatest singer that ever lived. I'm not the greatest dancer that ever lived. I'm just a guy who does his best to use what I've got to entertain.
I used to walk in the rooms and I'd get every part I went on. Now I walk in the room and I'm laughed at, or I'm feeling like I'm being mocked.
I want to be treated as an equal human being, not as somebody who's, a spectacle and to be laughed at. If you don't like my art, you're welcome to say you don't like my art. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that don't like it. It's not for everybody.
The love that you see in my heart is pure. The anger that you feel is justified. And the pain is weathered.
That I like somebody to be real. I mean, there's no reason for somebody to try to pretend to be somebody else. They should just be themselves.
What you see is what you get. I don't play games. I don't put on phony personas. I don't play a character.
We're all just characters. Our lives are a media circus, which is good and bad at times. When the press is nice to me, it's very nice, but when they're bad, it really hurts.
I believe that I became the scapegoat or, the world's buffoon for a reason.
Everything I've experienced in my life up until this point, all of it was just like, are you kidding me? It all made sense. I have experienced everything I've experienced because I was the guy chosen to do this job, period.
I kind of had to deal with the wreckage of my past, get that uncovered, discovered, and discarded, move it out of the way, and now looking towards the future, I'm still here.
I'm still working, and I'm being creative, and I'm doing what I love to do.
And I plan to still keep doing what I do until God chooses to remove me from the scene. I am the comeback king, and the rest is history.
I sing a song of Corey. Little star, please don't worry. As you watched your angels fly, fame never left you, so don't you cry. I sing a song of Corey, as shiny as a star can be. Whenever you saw that Michael dance, you just had to go and take that chance. So don't ever let the haters get you down. Just smack that Wolfpack and stand your ground. Don't let others make you trip and fall. Never play victim to that cruel cabal. I sing a song of Corey. Life can pass you by in a hurry. Sometimes life sets them traps to test you, but keep on fighting and you'll break through. 22 reasons why you can light the stage up and float so high. Never mind that not everything goes as planned. Sometimes it's just enough to take a stand. Yeah, often you feel there's nothing you can do. Often it seems they all think that you're a fool. But don't listen listen to the mutterings of freakish folk. Just let them all know that you're no joke.
All right, stop the show, stop the show. If you can't respect the show, we will kick you out. Do you understand? These are our props. Do not touch them. Thank you.
I sing a song of Corey. Don't lose grip on reality. Despite all the things that they've done, you'll be laughing once the battle's won. Oh yes, my dear friend Corey, I want to see that you are happy. You pushed back against Jim and them, and now you've come out on top again. 22 reasons why you can light the stage up and float so high. Never mind that not everything goes as planned. Sometimes it's enough to take a stand. Sometimes it's enough to take a stand. Oh yeah. Yes!
Like magic.